see problems at our school with the amount of derogatory terms students use, such as gay or retard?
I see it with kids not realizing they're saying it to each other as a joke, but they don't realize that while they may be comfortable calling each other their friends, they don't know who's listening, and they don't see it as a derogatory term, and they use it in common language, so I don't think that the problem is they don't realize what they're saying.
How do you think we can reduce the use of those terms at our school?
I think one, teachers shouldn't tolerate it. Two, I think students need to take, I mean, we can say teachers, 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 but until students start standing up and saying, we're not going to tolerate that. I mean, it's when I'm out in public with my daughter and somebody's cussing in front of my daughter, I'll tell them, excuse me, that's not appropriate. And it means more than if I went to the manager. I mean, deal with the problem, you've got to have some courage and stand up and deal with the problem.
Thank you. The amount of derogatory terms students use, such as gay or retard?
Sadly, yes, and I don't know that kids do it intentionally. Like, I think it is mindless sometimes. I don't even know that they understand that they're using derogatory terms. It's become such a part of the vernacular.
Do you yourself use those terms?
Which terms?
Gay and retard?
I have gay friends, and I would say they're gay, but I wouldn't use it as a derogatory term. I use it as an adjective because that's the lifestyle that they live. And I don't believe I've ever used the word retard in a derogatory way, ever.
How do you react when students say those things in your classroom?
If I hear them, it's not pretty. I tend to probably get more angry than I should, and I really should probably just have a more calm conversation and say, do you realize what you're saying?
How do you think we can reduce the use of those terms at our school?
Education. It has to be education. There were terms that were used frequently in the 1960s that people didn't think about, and the more educated people became about what those words meant, the less those words were used.
Thank you. Does it offend you when you hear people say something is gay or retarded?
My cousin is, she teaches kindergarten for, what's the special ed at a school somewhere in Virginia, and so we don't say that word because it's offensive to her and to us.
And it's me, and my neighbor is special needs too, and I don't like when people say that.
Do you see problems at our school with the amount of derogatory terms students use, such as gay or retard?
I have not seen it in either sub-school 1 or sub-school 2. I know that terms such as those are bandied about in certain areas of the school, but I have never had a problem with students using derogatory terms in the sub-school, perhaps because they know it will not be tolerated.
When you hear people say things like gay or retard?
It does a little.
Okay, and how do you react when students say those things in your classroom?
But generally, I try to explain to them that even though I'm completely in favor of free speech, they have to keep in mind, number one, that there's often a difference between what we mean in our words and how other people interpret that. And once somebody else has interpreted your words in a different way other than you intended, the damage may have already been done.
Reduce the use of the terms at our school?
I think that the best way to reduce it would be just to educate people as much as possible on how those words can be misinterpreted, what they might mean, and how they mean a different thing to one person as to another. And at least, especially in a situation in school, it's better to play it safe than sorry, but I think ultimately knowledge and awareness is the key.
Our school with the amount of derogatory terms students use, such as gay or retard?
Yes. I do.
Why? How?
Because it's just such a common thing to say, so no one really thinks about what they're saying and how it can affect people.